All things one has forgotten scream for help in dreams. For truth is always strange, stranger than fiction. Only the day dawns to which we are awake. There is more day to dawn. The sun is but a morning star. Ruin is a gift. Ruin is the road to transformation. Light is more important than the lantern, the poem more important than the notebook. The truth about life and lie about life is not measured by others, but by your intuition, which never lies. The value of surrounding yourself with positive people is not what you get from them, but how good a person you have become because of them. Our kindness may be the most persuasive argument for that which we believe. A stone is heavy and the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Trees are poems the earth writes upon the sky. We fell them down and turn them into paper, that we may record our emptiness. When you make the dream of your heart a treasure of heaven, it holds an eternal value. I believe that a scientist looking at non-scientific problems is just as dumb as the next guy. Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world. I'd rather die while I'm living than live while I'm dead. I want to drag knives over my skin, just to feel something other than shame, but I'm not even brave enough for that. Hate is nothing when weighed against survival. Don't sacrifice yourself too much, because if you sacrifice too much, there's nothing else you can give, and nobody will care for you. Those who are willing to be vulnerable move among mysteries. To know the history of science is to recognize the mortality of any claim to universal truth. Don't dwell on things. Don't stay in one place too long. It was the only way to stay ahead of sadness. If you want to be successful, you must respect one rule: never to lie to yourself. Only knowledge can turn life's unbearableness into a weapon. People are supposed to care. It's good that people mean something to you, that you miss people when they're gone. You don't have to eat less. You just have to eat right. You should always do what you can to make life sweeter. It is too difficult to think nobly when one thinks only of earning a living. Single is not a status, it is a word that describes a person who is strong enough to live and enjoy life without depending on others. I try to avoid looking forward or backward and try to keep looking upward. I figured something out. The future is unpredictable. Education shows the path to the door of opportunity. It gives confidence and hope to open it. The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the world. In the desire to control others, we lose control over ourselves. Do not get obsolete like an old technology, keep innovating yourself. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. The goal is to reduce the time of suffering, not eliminate it. You will never know how high you can climb until you reach the top. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they die for. Anarchism is founded on the observation that since few men are wise enough to rule themselves, even fewer are wise enough to rule others. You can't always be right, but you can be wrong a lot less. Nothing isn't better or worse than anything. Nothing is just nothing. Arya Stark. Do not sabotage your new relationship with your last relationship's poison. I did not know if the story was factually true or not, but it was emotionally true. As long as you can use your hands, the world is your oyster. The purpose of literature is to turn blood into ink. He spoke again as if he hadn't just shattered his promise and her security. Her house of glass now lay in a pile of shards. There's nothing you can't do if you want it bad enough. Keep going. It's not as difficult as you feel it is. Don't give up. No matter how many people give me advice, I am going to do what my heart tells me to do. Life doesn't require ideals. It requires standards of action. You see, the deaf have an intimacy with silence. It's there in their dreams. Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness. We're going to aspire to break through and create our own reality. The things that pose the greatest threats to your survival are the most real things. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Be true to yourself. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. At first, they'll only dislike what you say, but the more correct you start sounding, the more they'll dislike you. Your time is way too valuable to be wasting on people that can't accept who you are. Each of us is shaped by the truth of our natures. Vaughn de Silver. There is no doubt fiction makes a better job of the truth. If we all did the things we are really capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. What you don't know won't hurt you. A dubious maxim. Sometimes what you don't know can hurt you very much. I may not be the brightest bulb in the box, but I still shine in my own silly way. It's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. Truth is confirmed by inspection and delay, falsehood by haste and uncertainty. Life might take you down different roads, but each of you gets to decide which one to take. Those who bring sunshine into the lives of others have discovered the secret to genuine happiness and fulfillment. My hope still is to leave the world a bit better than when I got here. It is not needful for our dreams to be very grand nor very big. It is only needful for our dreams to be very shiny. Nothing can be more hurtful to your heart than betraying yourself. Failure is not when you fail once, but when you refuse to learn from your mistakes. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. If you can spend a perfectly useless afternoon in a perfectly useless manner, you have learned how to live. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Courage is feeling fear, not getting rid of fear, and taking action in the face of fear. She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate. I ask not for any crown, but that which all may win, nor try to conquer any world except the one within. Take it moment by moment, and you will find that we are all, as I've said before, bugs in amber. Now this might disturb you, but I find I'm okay by myself, and I don't need you or your benevolence to make sense. The universe doesn't like secrets. It conspires to reveal the truth, to lead you to it. Nothing is necessitated whose opposite is possible. Don't be bothered by the things you can't change. Instead, focus on how to make your life better. You can have everything you want if you can put your heart and soul into everything you do. Though the road's been rocky, it sure feels good to me. Accidents don't happen to people who take accidents as a personal insult. The language of friendship is not words, but meanings. A person's limitations are only measured by their drive to succeed. Dua kebaikan yang berbeda tidak mungkin berada pada suatu intensitas yang sama. Sesederhana itu. Do not fear the thorns in your path, for they draw only corrupt blood. Leadership is all about making things to move forward, not backward. Perhaps what is inexpressible is the background against which whatever I could express has its meaning. Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not. Happiness comes when your work and words are of benefit to others. Success is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden. The way to screw up somebody's life is to give them what they want. A goal without a plan, without strategy and execution, is nothing other than a wish. A goal without a backup plan is but a wager. When you take control of your attitude, you take control of your life. When you realize there is something you don't understand, then you're generally on the right path to understanding all kinds of things. It is when things are at worst you will get the best. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it isn't so. When they say the sky's the limit, to me that's really true. By what men think, we create the world around us, daily new.